Hi legends, if you're watching this before everyone else, thank you for contributing, and if you're watching this whenever I have finished the whole fantasy season, is the pandemic over? God, I hope so. Before we begin, let's look at some of the submissions for the past episode's runway theme, Afternoon Delight. Firstly, there's this really cute, I want to say like banana split inspired look for BenDeLaCreme. Very cute, I could fully see Dela doing something like this. Next is this polka dot look for Bob the Drag Queen, and I'm getting some Minnie Mouse vibes with this entire look. I don't know if that was the point, but maybe, I don't know. And lastly, we have this kind of vampy sort of look from Raven, and I don't know why, but I'm getting some Bond girl vibes from it. And yeah, this would have been the look Raven would have been eliminated in the 4th episode. As always, we begin the episode with the winning team, which is yet again the heroes team, waiting for the villains to enter the workroom, pondering on who may or may not have been eliminated. The girls first congratulate Tatianna on her win, of course, with Yara telling her something like, "See, we told you could do it." Tatianna says that a part of her did think that she was going to do well because on her original season she did do well too, albeit she was in the losing team for a similar challenge. And before they can continue, the villains start coming in, and Bianca says, "Speaking of the losing team," the queens see that Raven is not there with the rest of the villains, and the queens are kind of surprised. However, we cut to Tatianna in the confessional saying, "Raven was in the bottom 2 on our season for the same challenge, and back then she wanted me out of the competition. Karma's a bitch." Cue the intro. The queens in the workroom keep talking about the fact that another winner was in the bottom 2, with Tyra saying that, just like with Alaska previously, that was her first bottom 2 placement, as she never had to lip sync for her life on season 2. Tyra also says that she wasn't really worried for the lip sync, as she knew she could beat Raven pretty easily, cause hey, she's already done it once. Raja seems a little annoyed with Tyra, but she doesn't say much. Even if she wanted to say anything, she would have been cut off by the video message from Ru. "Hi racers. A wise group of women once said that too much of something is bad enough. And who am I to question their wise words? Well, I am one of a kind, but it does get lonely sometimes here at the top. Don't you ever wish you just had someone by your side at all times, but not like attached at the hip? Well, we'll see about that." The girls are a little confused by the message, and they're even more confused when Ru and Michelle come into the workroom together. Ru tells the queens that so far everything was judged in 2 teams, and Michelle follows up by saying, "And now everything will be judged in teams of 2. Katya has an aha moment and in a full state of glee exclaims, "Are we redoing a challenge from my season?" Ru and Michelle confirm that yes, they are doing a Conjoined Queens Maxi challenge this episode. In order to divide the girls into pairs, the pit crew brings out 2 furry boxes. One is blue and one is red. Ru will be pulling out the names from the blue box and Michelle from the red one. As there are more heroes than villains, there will be 1 pair of just heroes. The queens are mildly gooped, and some, like Sharon and Fifi, smell a setup from a mile away, and thus begin the shenanigans. Ru first pulls out a lipstick with Sharon's name, and surprise surprise, Michelle pulls out a lipstick with Fifi's name. They all laugh, and Ru gives a semi-earnest, "Who would have thought?" to the camera, breaking the 4th wall. Next, Ru pulls out Dela's lipstick, jokes that this one is not written in whiteout, and Michelle pulls out Alaska's lipstick. Alaska in the confessional says that they're gonna do great. They both dominated their all-star seasons, but only one of them won theirs. Ru then pulls out Asia's lipstick, and to nobody's surprise, Michelle pulls out Akira's lipstick. Next is Bianca, and her partner ends up being Raja. They both are happy to work with each other, saying that a pair of winners and, well, seasoned queens is a winning combination by definition. Jinkx is up next, and her partner is, to nobody's surprise, Roxxxy. They have bared the hatchet since their season, of course, but Roxxxy is a little concerned how they're going to mesh their drag styles. Bob is picked next, and she, surprise surprise, gets Naomi as her partner. Tatianna sees the writing on the wall already, but she's hopeful that Katya or Yara will be paired up with Tyra. That doesn't happen, as the hero-villain pair is Tatianna and Tyra, which leaves Katya and Yara as the only hero-hero pair. The queens get to work immediately, trying to figure out how they're going to mesh their styles, where they're going to be attached, and so on and so on. Asia and Akira immediately both want to go pageant girl route, but then they remember that the judges might expect that from them, so they go back to brainstorming, and they in general seem to be very confident for this challenge. Ben and Alaska at first have trouble figuring out what to do. Maybe we get an edit of the two of them just looking at each other with silly music playing in the back, with Jinkx maybe saying in the confessionals that the two of them are screwed. Speaking of Jinkx and Roxxxy, they don't seem to be doing any better, but Jinkx comes up with the idea of doing different era showgirls look, with the comedy lying in the fact that Jinkx is clearly from an older time to Roxxxy's more modern showgirl look. Speaking of showgirls, Sharon and Fifi know exactly what to do with their looks. They want to mesh Sharon's campy and mildly horror-esque drag with Fifi's now more cosplay style of drag. Bob and Naomi are kind of stumped, as their different drag styles don't really go well together, but given that Naomi is a good designer and Bob can sew, they know they'll figure it out. Katya and Yara are having a lot of fun together, coming up with the idea that they were conjoined twins that tried to separate each other maybe. Think lots of fake blood, lots of over-the-top drag, and lots of over-the-top comedy. Bianca and Raja seem to already be working on their looks, with Raja even convincing Bianca to go with something that she would usually not do often. Not wear a dress, but rather to wear something that shows more of her skin. Tatianna and Tyra are doing their best to stay afloat and to communicate properly, but Tatianna in the confessionals does say that she will try her hardest not to mess it up, because she wants to stay in the competition. Tyra seems to be disinterested, but she too wants to prove that she can overcome, as she says, the crutch of working with Tatianna. There isn't much time in this episode dedicated to workroom stuff, other than the queens individually working on their looks and concepts. And then Ru and Michelle, again coming together to comment on everyone's progress. The editors make us think that anyone could win, and more importantly, that we're going to get a good bottom two lip sync between the losing queens. It's time for the runway. With Carson and Michelle, the guest judges this week are the Bella twins. Why? Well, because I couldn't think of any more famous twins. Asia and Akira are the first two on the runway. They chose to represent the hero versus villain dynamic and wear basically the same outfits, just in their respective colors of blue and white and red and black, with Asia being blonde and Akira having dark hair. They're attached at the ass, they're always walking in a way that only one is seen at any given moment in time, obviously from the front. They only sometimes pose together from the side so that both of them are visible. Katya and Yara go for absolute filth and do conjoined twins that are attached as if they were part of a human centipede, with the biggest kick of their performance on the runway coming after Katya, who's in the back, is able to stand up and carry Yara on her shoulders for a short amount of time while on the runway. However, this proves to be fatal for the twins, as blood starts coming out of Yara's ass. I mean, not literally, that's just how they planned it, covering Katya almost completely in red. The judges are losing their minds over it. Ben and Alaska come out in cute old women drag, but they both kind of look grumpy, and the two of them are attached at the hip, but they make jokes about the fact that they, in fact, both have artificial hips, except for the one good one that they share. Tatianna and Tyra go for a bondage-esque look, but they make it fashion. They're attached at the hip as well. Bob and Naomi come out attached at just the fingertip of their pinkies, which makes Ru laugh, and Naomi brings out the model-esque glam from Bob. Jinkx and Roxxxy do their old showgirl, young showgirl thing, also being attached at the hip. Bianca and Raja, in order not to hinder Raja's runway walk, choose to be attached at the hand, and very similarly to Bob and Naomi, just come out looking as fierce models. Lastly, Fifi and Sharon come out onto the runway as twins from The Shining, after getting murdered, and they are also attached at the hip. Ru tells the girls that this was one of the most fun runways he has ever seen, but that somebody will have to go home. First, he calls out the safe pairs. Ben and Alaska, Bob and Naomi, and Bianca and Raja. The six of them leave the stage and are done with the episode. The judges go down the line, first telling Asia and Akira that they understood what the girls were going for, but that it just isn't the most interesting of an idea, nor the best executed one, but they like that they were a little more creative with the attachment to the ass. Sharon and Fifi get high praise for their performance and for thinking of doing the two girls from The Shining, with Sharon even telling the Bellas that they almost went as them, neck braces and all. Now this comment gets laughs from some, and some are kind of not feeling it. Jinkx and Roxxxy are told that their concepts just did not work. It looked good, but it did not make much sense, and they didn't even bring the comedy aspect to it to make it funny that one of them is drastically older than the other. Tatianna and Tyra are told that their looks are really pretty, they executed them well, but they're just too basic, and that the two of them as a pair could have easily stolen the show if they played up their rivalry on the runway and showed that they were bickering or something like that, you know, things that actual siblings do. Katya and Yara, both on all fours, still in character, are described as disgusting, hilarious, absolutely ridiculous, and genius, getting praises from all of the judges. The queens are sent back to Untucked so that the judges can deliberate. Silence. I've made my decision. Bring back my Bella twins. Welcome back, ladies. As you did this maxi challenge in pairs, there will be two winners of it. But that also means that two queens will be going home this week. The girls are kind of shocked because they thought that only the worst pair would have to lip sync and that only one of the two would go home. Ru continues. Sharon Needles, Fifi O'Hara. You two shone on the runway and showed that it does take two to make a thing go right. Or, in your case, horribly wrong. You're safe. Katya, Yara Sofia. You two are absolutely gross. Great work. You are the winners of this week's Maxi Challenge. The two of them crawl back to the end of the stage, making the judges laugh yet again. Asia and Akira. Your RuPaul illusion did not impress the judges, but was it a delusion to pander to me? We'll see. Jinkx and Roxxxy. As bitter rivals, on Season 5 you were the stars, but tonight your performances were just 1 out of 5 stars. Tatianna and Tyra. My Season 2 queens. 2 wrongs don't always make a right. Asia and Akira. You're safe. You may step to the back of the stage. Thus, the team of Jinkx and Roxxxy lip syncs against Tatianna and Tyra. Ru goes on by saying, ladies, for tonight you were asked to prepare a lip sync to the legendary song The Boy Is Mine by Brandy and Monica. This is your last chance to impress me and save yourselves from elimination. The time has come for you to lip sync for your life. Good luck and don't fuck it up. Jinkx and Roxxxy lean into the whole showgirls aesthetic they have going on and in a comical way try to outdo each other. Tatianna and Tyra really seem like they're trying to out-lip-sync each other, barely paying any attention to the judges. Both teams are smart enough to know that one queen should lip-sync Brandy's parts and the other should lip-sync Monica's. All in all, it's a fun battle. Ladies, I've made my decision. Jinkx and Roxxxy. Shantae, you stay. You can see clear disappointment on Tatiana's face, while Tyra just looks pissed off. Tatianna in the confessional says that she did the best that she could, but Tyra just would not cooperate. And Tyra tells us that she would not have gone home had she not been paired with Tatianna. Ru tells them to sashay away, and so we have to say goodbye to Tyra and Tatianna. And that's it. That's the episode. The part about who did what for the Conjoined twins was so fun to try to write. Sadly, I can't really draw well, so I couldn't show you exactly what I was thinking, but with the reference pics, hopefully you all got it. Now, did you enjoy the episode? Did you think that Tyra was going to be the first winner eliminated from the show? Sound off in the comments, and thank you for watching.